All right, guys, I got the thumbs up, so why don't we go ahead and get started here. First of all, I want to thank you for coming by and checking out SurgePays. I am Brian Cox, I'm the CEO. What I'd like to do is go through a high level of the services we provide and how we provide them and then the market we provide it to. I'd like to leave a good amount of time for questions so I can make sure and address things that you guys are interested in about what we do. So if you feel free to write the questions down. I am going to leave a good amount of time for questions here toward the end. I'm sure you guys all know the safe harbor. I don't want to waste time on that. Quick takeaways on our company that just to kind of set the introduction. I've been involved in providing products to the underbanked market since the early days of prepaid. I was one of the companies back in the day who came up with the concept of long distance cards and at the convenience stores and gas stations, if we could just get people who don't have credit cards to pay up front, prepaid, we could still provide the same products that those of us in this room would have access to. So that evolved into home telephone service. We quickly determined that the underbanked is best served and best sold to at the convenience stores and community stores, C-stores, bodegas, tiendas, in those communities that are close to where our consumers in the underbanked market shop. So we did build a software platform back in the day, that very rudimentary, that would do activations and payments at the convenience store. And then we've built our suite of products around that over the past few years. Now we've evolved into a company after 4 years of slogging through on the OTC. We did get to NASDAQ winter last year. So that was a pretty big accomplishment for us, and it was a part of the journey that we intended to accomplish. And we've got two spearhead products. The way that I attack the underbanked market is a B2C product where we do provide internet access to low-income households. It's government subsidized. And then at the convenience store, providing financial services to customers, enabling that corner store to become a tech hub, quasi-bank for the underbanked in their communities. Quick update on the underbanked. Again, I've been on the underbanked world for the past 20 years when it was a word that wasn't used often. Now it's the last digital frontier in America. The latest numbers that just came out a couple of months ago are that the underbanked and underserved do represent almost a third of our country, 100 million folks. And as a representation of that, if you look at the bottom bullet point, very interesting, the Miami Herald had an article, it was about 2 months ago, where they were referencing the things that the government's doing for the state. It was really more of a political article, but it was referencing that 30% of the state of Florida qualifies for government-subsidized mobile broadband or internet connectivity. So it's almost 6.5 million people in the state of Florida alone. And extrapolating Florida out, which is a good cross-section of the country, it does match up with that 100 million number. So huge market. And I always like including pictures of the stores because sometimes people don't realize that these are the stores they pass every day. These are the community stores, the markets, the gas stations, the bodegas and tiendas that do service the underbanked neighborhoods, and that is our points of distribution for our products. I'm going to hit on the B2C product first, our mobile broadband service. Now, we've had SurgePhone wireless for the past year or so. In August, we were licensed by the FCC to provide emergency broadband to folks that were affected. I guess it really started from COVID. It brought to the forefront and the surface to the government how many people don't have internet access at their home because they weren't able to communicate via Zoom with their teachers. It was a huge problem, so it was initially enacted as an emergency benefit. And then once they saw the success of guys like us who were able to connect folks and the benefits of having a digital society and not continuing that divide, with the infrastructure bill at the end of last year, they made this a permanent program and they changed the name from emergency benefit to the ACP program or the connectivity program. So that was a really big day for us because it solidified this program similar to Lifeline, which has been around since '85 when Reagan was president. It's a subsidized utility program. It put it in permanency with the budget, and it allowed me as a CEO to really put my foot on the gas and say, okay, this is a program we can get behind and really push now, not just a little bit of a cash cow that helps us, propels us, but this could actually be an engine that runs side by side with our fintech company. We built the company to over 100,000 subscribers, which again, stated differently, is 100,000 households that now have internet that did not have it before, underbanked, low income. We did that in 14 states. We just completed an acquisition of Torch, as you see, in the last 30 days, which now gives me 50 states to operate in. So the last 30 days have been pretty chaotically, no sleep, dividing up the country and figuring out how to attack and maximize our sales and growth. And just to set up kind of how the program works, we basically provide a tablet to consumers who qualify. You qualify by being on any other government program, WIC, food stamps, any type of subsidized program pretty much automatically qualifies you. There's a national clearinghouse called NLAD, which we scrub your information off of. We found out instantly if you're approved. You see the tent up here on the right? That's our tent and our banners, and that's people in line to get our service. They walk up, show an ID. We determine immediately if they're qualified. They walk away with a tablet. That tablet cost us about $82. The government reimburses us $100 for that tablet about 45 days later. And then the government pays for that service right at $30 a month. Our cost is about 13 or 14. All the customer has to do is use it. They don't have to pay. They just need to use it. So it is a use-based program. As long as they're using it, we do get that reimbursement and we do get those services paid for every month. So definitely a really good catalyst for us. Uniquely, and segueing into the next, how this ties into our convenience store fintech platform, those parking lots that we set up in are in the community stores positioned in that grassroots level of those underbanked neighborhoods. So we're priming the pump to be able not just to have access to the consumers now in their hands providing internet, but also being able to branch out, providing them other telecom and prepaid and financial products where they can go back to the store in the same parking lot and make their payments every month. So that gets us into the B2B. We set up convenience stores, bodegas, tiendas, the stores where our customers shop 5 times a week. Again, the habits are a lot different than us. They're usually a cash-based society. They don't shop for the week at one stop. 5 to 6 times a week. A lot of studies have been done on the underbanked, especially as relates to calories, because they're consuming a lot of calories from the convenience store. So we kind of extrapolate those studies, and we're able to, get the mindset of the underbanked and underserved consumer. They depend on the clerk at the store. They know their name. It's not like us going in and grabbing a Red Bull and paying for gas. I mean, these are people that they know their kids. And so I leverage that trust factor of the clerk at the store to, instead of being an ATM or something where the customer's got to evolve in a sophistication level, they use that clerk, whether it's, as you see here, this is our rack where we set up for gift cards and reloadable debit cards. Amazon Cash we just integrated with, but we enable these consumers to have a lot of the same life-enhancing services we have and take for granted. And just imagine looking at your phone today, and every one of those apps, if it's not attached to a credit card, it doesn't have a whole lot of functionality. We enable them to go now and add value directly to their Amazon account, which is going to be an interesting play for us because Amazon's already reached out to us and asked if we would help them place lockers at these convenience stores on our network. So this is really how we attack. That right there is my Trojan horse. Most independently owned convenience stores don't qualify under banking rules to have gift cards, and they also want to compete with the Walgreens, CVS, and the 7-Elevens down the street. So it's kind of an ego play for us. It's a vanity play. Good Trojan horse, we get into the store's checking account. Now we're a partner. We're providing them services they want, need. Their consumers like it. It enables us to go in and upsell other products to the store. Some of the other products we sell, prepaid wireless top-ups is always going to be our best. There's 100 million prepaid wireless customers out there. They're paying in cash somewhere. Creatures of habit usually go back and pay at the place where they got their service activated. Now that we've enabled that convenience store to take that payment for them, which is right around the corner, and it's usually open, a lot, 24/7, that's always going to be the best and biggest way for us to get that store. Store owner usually makes about 10 to 11% on the transaction. So he's making about the same amount of money on a $40 track phone payment as he would make on taking $350 liability for a wire to Guatemala. So it's a really good cost-benefit product for the store. And as you can see, some of the other products we just launched, our ability to sell Bitcoin, which not going to be a great, huge revenue product for us right now, but as Central and South Americans who are immigrants and working here are looking to bypass Western Union taking 15% of their money, and that becomes more of a trust evolution where they start transitioning to digital currency. And then the governments like El Salvador are putting out fee-free Bitcoin ATMs all over the country and encouraging their residents because of the remittance GDP in their country and the impact that Western Union and MoneyGram guys have on taking that 15 to 17%. We do see that as being a really good product, mainly to get stores and then to grow our business, especially in the Hispanic market in the next 2 years. Other things, debit card reloads, some utility payments, like I said, Amazon Cash, gaming apps. We just picked up mass transit in New York. They went digital. The problem was they didn't factor in that 35% of the folks living in Metro New York don't have credit cards. So now they've got to go to bodegas and reload their card because they won't take cash anymore. So if you're going to ride the bus or the train, you got to go do that. So the Omni card with mass transit is not only a good product for us, as we're hiring 3 people in New York right now to go set up stores in New York to use that as our flagship product. It's also a good example of how, because we have this blockchain fintech platform at the convenience store, any new product, any new technology that comes out, we can immediately integrate with that company and add that product into the store because we are that profit partner with the store for all of these prepaid fintech products. Just real quick, because I know I always add this slide depending on who I'm talking to. I know that it's a little more cutting edge guys that are interested in the blockchain side of it and just how the network's set up. And at the register, if most stores now do have a computer because a lot of the money wire and the transaction companies require it. So we do have a secure app that we prefer the clerk use. Again, it's on the side of the cash register. The clerk is using it. The consumer just tells them what they want and puts the money on the counter. If it's one of those, let's call it like in New York where you've got kind of the cubbyhole, bulletproof, 5-hour energy, rolling papers, and it's more of a hurry up convenience store, get in and get out, and they don't have internet and they don't have a computer at the register. We do have a reprogrammed Verifone terminal you see there. It looks like a credit card swipe machine. Our developers built in all the functionality of our transactions, and it will perform all the transactions that we could use on our What You See Is What You Get app. It's just done a little bit more rudimentary using the menu on the formerly used credit card machine there. So it kind of gives you an idea. And we are in the cloud. We're backed up. Blockchain. We're secure. And one of the things that we're looking to monetize as we grow the company, as we expand beyond the 8,000 stores that we're currently transacting, is we're developing a pretty interesting data trove on this market that, again, does not have a digital thumbprint. We do over 20,000 transactions a day, and all of those are being ledgerized, and we do look to monetize that as we continue to grow that. And as other people like Alipay, Amazon, and some of the other companies you saw are getting into that underbanked space in the States, we do really look at ourselves as building that digital railroad, and these stores being our depots, if you will, so that when these other guys come in and want to bring their platforms into the space, we're already there. We're already a partner for these guys, and we're able to directly work with them to deploy their products and their platforms into the underbanked market. I like this slide on the right here because it's a visual. Yes, 8,000 stores sounds like a lot, but as you see, we're based in Memphis, and we acquired a company in the Midwest a couple of years ago. So it's neat to see the dots. Those are actually the pins of our stores that are transacting on the SurgePays network. Every retail store on every street corner has the ability to perform transactions on our network. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of stores out there potentially. As you see, some states don't even have a dot. So yeah, 8,000 sounds like a lot, but we haven't even cracked the surface. And something that's really interesting to note, all of those stores we acquired through 1099 contractors using the kind of the merchant processing credit card business rollout mentality of ISOs. After the NASDAQ funding came in, one of my first initiatives was to hire in-house salespeople that would be sold out wearing our jersey out there in the field, whose sole purpose was to add more stores and then add more products per store. So we're definitely looking to get a whole lot more dots across the country as we grow our network of stores and as we add products. You know, tying this back together, you know, I always get asked the question, you know, who's your competition? How are you going to grow? Well, we're using the mobile broadband and providing that service to people that they depend on. And we've got the consumer in one hand and the store where they shop in the other hand. So we're bringing that naturally together for things like streaming, especially streaming with the Hispanic market, where it would be a more cost-effective way for folks, especially from Central and South America, to watch TV. Well, we're on the tablet. I can pop up on their tablet offers. I can partner with telehealth, which is going to be one of our next big projects in the underbanked, underserved, and underinsured market. And the cool thing about telehealth is it dovetails right into the fact that I'm already providing you your wireless service and having an all-inclusive product where now it could be unlimited talk, text, data, and FaceTiming a doctor instead of going to the emergency room. We're really excited about that product to differentiate us from other just prepaid wireless companies because, again, we're not just a prepaid wireless company. We're providing essential services to the underbanked. We do it through prepaid telecom and we do it through the store, but we're also thinking big picture, how do we keep enhancing the lives of the underbanked and underserved, which gives us a huge competitive advantage when signing up stores, when competing directly head-to-head with TracFone, Boost, Metro PCS, especially in the rural areas where they don't have a lot of good T-Mobile coverage. Being able to take these products and services, encapsulate them at a really cost-effective point, but still being able to pay the store owner a good commission to take the payment. That really is our rollout and growth strategy. And you know, obviously being a hard-charging CEO, there's competition that we look at that we're talking to right now that provide one-off products to convenience stores that may have plateaued, or they've just reached the point where they can't hire salespeople, especially with gas prices going up. Actually, benefits companies like us who offer complete comprehensive suites because we can justify the gas cost and the employee costs and the ability to get our salespeople to go out and pull these doors, add stores, and upsell these store owners. All right, this is the last slide, so I'm gonna hover on this a minute, and then I'll take your questions. You know, I don't know whether you caught it on the first slide, but we did 51 million last year. Our market cap is ballpark 48 million, give or take. We did get to NASDAQ at the end of last year, and one of the challenges I'm facing as CEO, I get a lot of questions about market cap, and you know, if your revenue is 51 million last year and you guys have projected 130 plus, you know, why are you at your market cap? And you know, the easy answer is, you know, we haven't posted numbers as a NASDAQ company yet, so people still don't know who we are. Our numbers were pre-NASDAQ raise, pre-growth capital on the OTC. Our goal on the OTC last year was to get to NASDAQ, was to accomplish that. I was the largest lender to the company. I'm the largest shareholder, so it definitely behooved me to focus and get that accomplished. We did give guidance of 200,000 subscribers for the year. I don't know whether you caught it last night, but we just released numbers last night. We just surpassed 100,000 already, and we're going at about 1,000 to 1,200 a day additions right now. So obviously the 200,000 subscribers will be kicked up here. Probably give upward guidance to that when we have a better idea over the next 30 days of the impact of the Torch Wireless acquisition. And as a side note, especially for you, those of you that are familiar with digital advertising, we weren't able to do any online sales with 14 states. They were spread out. Geofencing ad targeting is very expensive in our market. I couldn't get the cost per acquisition to work. But now that we're coast to coast and we can use that Facebook lookalike technology and dive into the customer base across the country and now blanket ads, and it's not sowing seeds on the sidewalk, you know, our cost per acquisition goes down. It makes it functional. So we look to actually increase our 1,000 new mobile broadband subscribers a day to at least double that. So my biggest challenge uniquely in the market we're facing right now is managing growth with the cash flow and not taking dilutive capital just to get sales numbers. So that is really my strategic, how I spend my day. I spend a lot more time than I would like to with my CFO managing the day-to-day because we've got that 45-day float on buying tablets, paying commissions to salespeople in the field, getting reimbursed, and then building that machine as we started at 0 mobile broadband in August, and now we're over 100,000 subscribers and over 5 million a month. So that really is kind of to paint a picture of what we expect the upward guidance to be. Building stores, as we can see, the in-house sales team, we expect that to be a big boost for our stores. And just right here, the bottom line, you know, we put it out there. I talk about it on my calls. I talk about it as much as I can. But we have not posted quarters yet where people have been able to see it. But operationally, we are no longer burning cash. Look at us on the OTC last year. We burned a lot of cash to get here, a lot of development, a lot of integration costs. We're no longer burning cash. All of our cash, you know, we're making money, pouring it back into growth and sales. My goal is to get this thing to be as big as I possibly can build it in 3 years, not just to make a quarter look good. You know, so we are pouring that back in. You know, I think that the crazy market we're in right now with recession, gas prices, and all these other inflation, little crazy things going on, we do kind of consider ourselves below the watermark of things that are affected by that. Our sales are not affected whatsoever by the events of the world or things that go on in this country from an economic standpoint. You know, our growth is, as a matter of fact, some of our best growth in my private companies that dealt with underbanked and underserved over the past 20 years were at times where guys like us were kind of taking a hit, you know, from, let's say, inflation, recession, and other things in the economy. So that's really the summary from a high level of what we do and how we attack the underbanked market and how we're looking to enhance folks' lives. And, you know, it's been a heck of a ride. Things are going well. Got a great team behind me. Got an operations center built out down in Central America that helps us scale, so we won't run into any plateaus as far as that's concerned. And so we're looking forward to, you know, like I said, giving you know, putting out some good numbers. And you know, I do make myself available as a CEO of a, you know, company. I've got MZ Group as our IR company, and they do a good job of helping me navigate. We talk to shareholders a couple hours a week, and so I am a little bit do have an open door policy. And, you know, I'd love to have, I know we got a couple of minutes here if we got any questions, and pretty much an open book. Yes, sir.
Your customer cost of acquisition, I guess that's your biggest hurdle, right? Your biggest.
Yes, we have, if you want it, quick math, $82 for the tablet, $45 for the commission. So ballpark, it costs me about $1.35, if you want to use a round number, to obtain a mobile broadband customer, which is a household. And the first subsidy payment to us is $130 because it's $100 for the tablet and then $30 for the service. So, you know, I built a really good living. I guess I was very blessed to, you know, I provided service in the Lifeline market, and I had 4 states. And my CPA, or return on the cost per acquisition, was about day 65 to 70. I'm an old school Excel spreadsheet guy. You know, the dip, cash flow dip. I'm so old school. And I built a pretty nice sizable company on double the time for the ROA or the ROI. So yeah, this is a lot different. So our challenge right now is not anything from the market or market condition or competition. Our challenge is basically throttling our growth to maximize it without, because example, if I want to do 30,000 mobile broadband activations this month, obviously I need 30,000 tablets, I need 30,000 devices. But if I have 400 salespeople in the field, they can't run out of tablets. So to do 30,000 enrollments, it's going to cost me, I'm going to need 50,000 tablets because they're going to keep selling. If they run out of devices, they jump to a competitor. So it does take more, but that's part of the strategy, and that's kind of the game, I guess you say, that the CFO and I play to make sure and maximize our sales per month without overly diluting the company. Yes, sir. The sales team, we've been in the business of selling to the underbanked and underserved for a long time. So I still have my same sales team that goes back to Lifeline, goes back years and years. And it's really funny, the folks who sell products in this manner, it's a small world. a lot of guys got their start in cable sales way back in the day. And so, you know, a guy that does outdoor sales is a guy that does outdoor sales, and he networks and knows other people in that market. So we do have a fantastic sales team, and the country is divided up into master agents, and those master agents are responsible for their area and for hiring the hierarchy of sales management underneath them. Yes, 1099. And I'm getting waved at, so I think our time, any last quick one? Hey, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all listening. And hey, any other questions? Like I said, I'll be around. Feel free to seek me out, hunt me down, and I'll be more than happy to talk about the company. Thank you guys.